my name's Kate Nash. I'm the CEO of Sector. We develop bespoke softwares for local government in the UK. So our homelessness case management system is used by 150 local authorities across England. And that software that's all been developed in-house. We're a Microsoft shop, so we use Microsoft languages like C#, and our cloud services are all hosted in Microsoft Azure. So with COVID, with everyone going so much online, the demand on developers in the UK increased hugely. So we saw the salaries that developers were asking go up by about 10k just in 2021. With that, also people realised that you don't that the developers didn't actually have to be in London. So our business model was actually to not be in London. We're based in Derby. And one of those reasons was because developers are cheaper in Derby than they are in London, so that we could be competitive. But with COVID, the companies in London worked out, oh, well, they don't actually have to have their developers in London. So they started to look further afield, which again pushed up the salaries of developers around the Derby area. So we found that there were a number of factors that meant that developers became much more expensive in the UK. And then I think one of the things that also came to light is before COVID, we did tend to go into the office, and I would have been very nervous about hiring someone offshore, not thinking that we couldn't actually manage the being completely virtual. Whereas having been put into with the COVID environment, where we did actually take on new staff in the UK, but they were onboarded entirely virtually, and we found that we could actually manage that. So that barrier, that barrier that I thought was there actually wasn't. We were able to onboard people effectively and as efficiently in a virtual environment as in person to person. So one of the offshoring barriers that I had thought was there wasn't. I mean, I guess the thing that really made me think about offshoring is when I interviewed someone online, and they were 20 minutes from our office, and they said that they were only prepared to work from home, that they wouldn't come into the office. And that just got me thinking, saying, well, why am I paying this premium for developers who aren't coming in, when in fact, if we offshore, they substantially cheaper, and we're getting the same kind of communication as the people in the UK are saying they're working from home 100% of the time. So that was really the thing that actually said, well, we should be looking to offshore. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I've been really impressed with is that one of the barriers is cultural differences. And Intogreat's been really aware of that, and that's where I found it was really useful, and without that support, I don't think it would have worked for us. But understanding the cultural differences, and getting some understanding of what motivates Filipinos, that Intogreat really was a real benefit there, and that's a key bit of learning that we needed, because I don't think it would have worked if we hadn't had that sort of cultural learning and hadn't had that support from Intogreat. And the other side is navigating the employment law, public holidays, what's expected from health support. Those are just things that there's no way we could have done without Intogreat. So we wouldn't have had offshoring as an option for us without Intogreat supporting us, because we just couldn't get over those hurdles. That's where I've been really impressed is that we've got to senior developers offshore that are offshore in the Philippines, and their programming ability is really good. That in some cases they've got stronger skill sets than some of our guys on shore. So they're definitely, from a programming point of view, their skill sets are really good. We've been really impressed with their skill sets. We have had to change the way we work. It wasn't purely because of taking on offshoring staff. It was to try and get the team to be more efficient. And so we have changed to very much develop in sprints. Which is a good thing. Particularly, we do a daily stand-up, so everyone in the development team has a 10-minute meeting online every day, and that just keeps team cohesion. Now, we did introduce it because we got the offshore staff, but it actually has made the whole team more efficient in terms of development delivery. I think, yes. So as I say, in terms of getting the development team to be more efficient, we have found that we have to specify out the work in more detail, which has put a load on management, because it means whereas before they probably wouldn't actually write down the specifications quite to that extent. It is now a requirement. I mean, partly that is also because of the time difference. Is that we're only working we've only got a half day where we're actually working the same time zone as the Philippines. So we have to be more disciplined about making sure that we've written up the work items to an extent that someone without any previous knowledge of the system can just pick them up and start building them. And that's been a learning curve for us. But it's a good thing to have, because it actually means even the onshore guys appreciate it, that they prefer the work to be more defined than what we were doing before. But it has, for the people who actually have the skills to write up those work items, it has meant that there's extra workload there. So it's definitely worthwhile doing, because what it means is when the software gets handed over to the testers actually know what they're supposed to be testing. So it's not wasted work. It just was a discipline that we had to introduce. So it's improved our working processes. I guess it's just the realization that it's got to be someone who actually knows the system who can write those up. But definitely it means that the developers can develop them, and then they can then just hand that on to the testers, and the testers, by reading the work item, can work out what they're actually supposed to be testing. Yeah, I think, like I say, if any sort of industry where you can write up a defined work item, so that somebody else can pick that up, would benefit. In that, one thing we've been really pleased with is that Filipinos, well, the two guys that work for us, they're great people. So they're nice to work with. It's enjoyable having meetings with them, and they're always keen to deliver. And so it's an enjoyable working experience, working with them. So they've been big assets to the team. So as I say it's any industry where you can have write up a defined work item that someone else can pick up, would benefit.